Hey, welcome today, everyone. This is Tim and Rachel with the Bush Group here at NextHome Experience, and we are so excited to have you guys join us today for our first podcast of February. So today is February 7th, 2023. Rach, how's everything going down in Portland? You guys all thawed out from that terrible polar vortex we just had. It's raining havoc through the state of Maine right now.
Yeah, just about. I was actually able to take my dog out this morning without having to put on at least 4 or 5 jackets and snow boots. So that was kind of nice. I think we're in like the mid 30s, which is great. But finally, no more cold weather. How about you guys up there in the Bangor
So
area?
yeah, I think I went outside yesterday and didn't have to wear a jacket for like a quick encounter from my truck to the office, but it's starting to warm up. Things are getting good. I know that we have a lot of clients and family and friends out there right now that are still trying to get through some of the tough situations with the frozen pipes, heating system malfunction. So first, we just want to put a plug out there for anyone that is having any difficulties. If you've got any frozen pipes, if your heating system's having any malfunctioning, please reach out to us. We do have a list of professionals that we can help connect you guys with. We know that people are struggling right now. There are resources and services out there that we can connect you with that, if you are struggling to, get some of these services paid for, we can connect you with some programs locally. We just want to make sure everyone has heat, everyone has flowing water, and that everyone is doing okay right now because it's, winter's not a time we've been messing around with that. And we just want to help anyone we can with anything that they might be going through right now. So if you are suffering right now through no heat and frozen pipes, please give us a call so we can help connect you with some resources that can really help. So, Rach, what are you thinking about 2023 real estate so far? So we're closing in on the first month and a half now. What is it looking like down in Portland? What are you seeing from our friends nationally? What is your kind of anticipation as we're thinking spring now? I know we're just talking about the polar vortex and everything like that, but how do we go from a polar vortex to think spring real estate? And what's really going on?
Yeah, we're really trying to think spring down here, even though we are still cold. Thinking about Westbrook and the greater Portland area, we're really kind of seeing the same conditions that we had spoken about last time that we had done a market update. We're slowly starting to see some new listings that are trickling on the market, which is great news. We actually just put a new home under contract in Sanford for buyers that have been looking with us well over a year. But we were also
Awesome.
able to give them some leniency as well because this home, although it was new to the market, there wasn't a handful of offers. There was only a couple, so we were able to go in with a really strong offer, and then put them under contract on a really nice home, and we're so excited for them. But kind of what we're seeing down here in a whole is listings that are priced accordingly are still going like hotcakes depending on where you're living here in southern Maine, and homes that aren't priced accordingly and that are too high on the listing side, unfortunately, are just sitting on the market for a little longer, and then they're having to negotiate with some of our buyers, which is great on the buy side here. I was actually just talking with a referral partner of mine in St. Pete Beach this morning, in Florida, and they're kind of going through the same thing as well. Their real estate market is just starting to warm up too, and they're starting to see some more inventory, but still their buyers are kind of getting the upper hand on most of these deals because some of these listings are still hanging on. But of course, a lot of agents are still tapping into what they know, and they are most definitely listing some of these homes accordingly. So they are going quick. What about you?
Yeah, I think we're seeing the same thing. It's kind of, interesting. We have seen, a little bit of a slight decline, the start of the year, but nothing that's not, I don't think, normal to a normal real estate market. I nothing that raises concern for me yet. The only thing that kind of, as far as buyers go, the rates, we really don't know too much what the rates are going to do. The Fed did do some things last week. So we're going to have Rosanne on again next week to just kind of talk about that, and just kind of get her opinion on what's going on with the rates this year. Because I don't want to speculate too much, not really knowing where they're going to go, what it's going to do. Are they going to go up? Are they going to go down? Are they going to stay the same? But unfortunately, like that's not actually playing a huge effect on a lot of our deals right now that we're seeing. Like you said, the market is still saturated and there's not a lot of listings right now. So when these listings are coming on, there are still a massive amount of buyer demand for the listings. So I know we've already been, this short period in the year, we've been in some multiple offer contract, negotiations already. And that's not something that's a normal winter in Maine real estate market. Usually, up here in this area during the winter, we do have a lot of ability to have less buyer demand. So buyers can kind of come in, be a little bit more strategic about things. We're kind of finding that it's very similar to what we've seen over the last 2 years. Maybe not the crazy pricing and everything like that, but still a lot of competition on those homes. So I think it's going to be interesting how this year plays out. I think we're going to see a very similar 2022. I don't think we're going to see too much difference from that. I'm really actually more intrigued on what's going to happen in 2024, to be completely honest with you. Really interested in that. But, I was listening to, Keith Robinson, our CFO here at NextHome, kind of talk about the market saturation and the different areas. And he made an incredible statement. I just love listening to Keith talk and reading his posts. But, he's absolutely right. Everything's hyper local. Like we talk about the national market, we talk about things going on in different metropolitan areas. And, even though we're only 2 hours away, Rach and I have incredible conversations about just how different these two markets are, from Bangor to Portland, and how they're not even really tangible on a lot of things. So I think we're starting to catch up. We're always a few years behind the trends, but as far as the rest of the country goes, I do feel that we are stabilized right now up here. Like, I know that maybe some people don't feel that. That's just my opinion on that. Nothing factual like to back that up. It feels like the market is stable right now. So I'm really excited about what 2023 is going to bring. Sorry, I just almost fell out of my chair right there. That's a live blooper reel right there. This is the year for bloopers, I think, today. But let's pull up a couple quick stats real quick, like while we're on here. So we'll get on to Flex MLS. Check what's going on in some of the towns right now. So just kind of want to look at what's active listings right now. So as I'm looking at Bangor right now, I'm going to kind of edit this search. So we're just looking at active. I don't want to see active under contract or coming soon. We just want to see what's active today. And so in the city of Bangor, as I'm looking at it right now, there's only 21 active listings. So that is not a lot of competition right now. One of the things I'm really intrigued on is to see what the days on market is. And so we do have some homes that we're looking at here. When we're seeing this, it's 102, 35, 175, 148, 141, 145, 197. So a lot of days on market on some of these properties that we weren't seeing over the last year. What I kind of attribute that to is I call those like kind of the stagnant listings. Like, they've just been on for so long, people are stopping searching them. And I feel like buyers are continuously searching in the new listing market, where they're looking for like the price reductions. So people that are looking for some of these homes, there's a lot of homes that have been on the market here that if you're a buyer, I would highly consider some of these homes that have been on the market a little bit longer, because you might be able to get some decent negotiations out of those situations where they've been sitting up on, a little bit longer. And there's some great homes that I've actually been in that, I'm kind of wondering why they haven't sold yet, because they are very nice homes.
Exactly. Yeah, no, we just had a buyer close in Westbrook here, I think just last week. And the condo that she was looking at was on the market for well over 90 days. Obviously just being overlooked by everybody at that point, but looking at the comparable properties that were on the market. So I obviously did some comps on that property before we went and looked at it. All of the other condos surrounding it were selling for $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 more than what this condo was listed for. So of course, going in there wasn't too aesthetically pleasing. They did have a tenant in there. It was just a matter of ripping up the carpets, getting out their items, really kind of like depersonalizing the space. But my client was open-minded enough that when she went into the property, she could just imagine, the four walls, some new flooring, all of this. So she got the property for an extremely good price, and she's going to be in a great equity standpoint when she goes in there and starts to update some things. But kind of like what you said, I think that after a while, when these homes sit on the market for more than 10 days, I feel is when they kind of start to go stale. And then people just kind of scroll right by.
Yeah, no, 100%. And as you talk about Westbrook, Rach, I just kind of pulled that up on our MLS system. And so currently in Westbrook, there's only 5, from what I'm finding right now, I'm only seeing 5 active listings right now in the city of Westbrook, and 3 of them are new construction. And so Westbrook is definitely a town. What's another town, Rach, that we can we're doing a lot in Buxton right now, so let's check out Buxton.
Boston, yeah.
Um, so in Buxton, as of right now, let's get rid of the active under contracts and just go active only.
Wyndham as well too, Tim. That's been a
Seven
super hot town.
seven listings in the town of Buxton right now. Wyndham, let's check out Wyndham.
Yeah, we're definitely we are struggling for inventory down here. We've obviously all been wanting some new builds. Wyndham is big on new builds lately.
So
Um,
22 active homes right now in Wyndham. So kind of interesting. Wyndham looks a little bit more comparable to like a Bangor as far as active listings right now. We are seeing that in the area. Bangor definitely is right now holding the forefront in our area. Let's check out Hamden and Brewer. We'll look at Hamden, Brewer, in those areas as well.
yeah, I had done our Hamden market update on the Bush group,
Yep.
on the Bush group Instagram not too many days ago here, and I was actually really shocked by by some of
Right.
those numbers that came up.
So as of this minute right now, Hamden has 14 active listings in the town. So that's just active, not active under contract or anything like that.
Mhm.
Like active homes not with an offer on it. And one, two, three, four. I think four of those look like they're new builds. I haven't gone deep into depth on the details page on all these, but just looking at kind of the specs on some of them. A few of them are new builds there too. So, less than a dozen active homes on the market right now in a town that's a very popular town here in this area. So I think the moral of kind of what we're trying to talk about right now is we're not trying to do a huge deep dive into, statistic real estate right now to give you guys an idea of the state of Maine. We're just trying to say, if you're a listing right now and you're thinking about selling, and people are trying to tell you that the market isn't primed for listings right now, the statistics say that's wrong. Like right now, there's a lot of availability for a seller. We still feel like we're in a seller's market right now. Now, that doesn't mean that buyers aren't getting, a little bit better pricing than they were a year ago. They very well might be. But right now, the sellers do appear to be having the upper hand right now. So, Rach, what do you think that's going to do going into the spring market? So, obviously, we've kind of got a little bit of a late start on the year, I think. The winter is definitely not kicking off as quick as it kicked off last year. Do you think we're going to have a later spring market, or are we still going to anticipate that early March, early April listing inventory? Are we looking more towards May, June now with that, in your opinion?
I honestly think, just regarding Southern Maine, because kind of like what you had said earlier, I think that the greater Bangor area and the greater Portland area, like you could almost divide them up into two different states for me, just because
Yeah.
of how drastic the state is. But talking about greater Portland area, I honestly think that we're going to see that shift sooner rather than later. What month that's going to be, I'm not too sure. But even within this past week or two, actually, the first thing I do every single morning when I wake up and I go on my laptop is I look at the hot sheet. So I'm looking on our multiple listing services, and I'm looking down to see what's been listed, what closed, what are we looking at for prices? Did somebody pay over asking? Was there closing costs? Just to refresh my memory, and then also to keep my buyers and sellers in mind to really kind of be the expert on the market that they're searching in. But from what I'm seeing currently, it almost seems like we're starting to get that pickup that we have in previous years right about the same time. I'm not seeing anything too different, but granted, we do have a lack of inventory, but just within these past couple of weeks, we've had some really great listings come on.
Yeah, and I think what you're saying is absolutely spot on. And the moral of, I think, what we're talking about, because we're talking about a lot for listings right now and potential sellers, but for buyers, like we're really speaking to you guys right now. So buyers, if you're thinking about buying in 2023, you need to start connecting with a real estate agent like ASAP. It's not too early to start the process, and this market is going to go fast this year. This year is going to go fast. We're already almost 2 months, down already. 10. We only have 10 full months left. So as far as the market goes, it's something you want to prepare for now. When we talk about going under contract and closing, that could be 45 to 60 days. So say it takes you 30 days to find that property. If you want to move in 3 months, you really need to be starting now. And if you haven't got pre-qualified, then you really need to be shopping 6 months out. At the earliest, I mean, at the latest, in my opinion. I really feel the earlier you start, the better off this process is going to be this year. I think it also gives you the availability to really get creative with your lender as far as rates. So that way, there's a lot of things that the lenders are talking about right now, and potential buy downs that they can try to negotiate with us in those deals to help get that interest rate a little bit lower to give some breathing room until they do come down to a potential area to refinance. So those are some really creative things. I think that the more time you give throughout the process, the more ability you're going to be able to help make those things happen. So
Yeah.
what's
And like we were, oh, sorry.
oh no,
Like
you
we
go
were
ahead, go ahead.
with Russan not too long ago. I think every single year that I've been in real estate, I get more and more wowed by lenders at how
Mhm.
creative they get with all of these markets. Like a lot of these new programs coming out for new builds and rate buy downs and refinancing, things that we didn't necessarily think about, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. But they're now coming out with all of these new products that are really, really buyer friendly. And although, as real estate agents, we don't talk about them as much as we should, I think that the education piece and even just reaching out to a lender and saying, hey, here's my situation and I'm looking to buy within the next 6 to 12 months. What do you think would be my best go ahead at getting the best monthly payment or getting into the house that I want? It's never too early to start, even if it's just being set up on a search or just starting with a lender.
Absolutely. I mean, like, just starting the process is the most important part. You're absolutely
Mhm.
right. Getting the ball rolling, getting moving in the right direction, and just sitting down and seeing if it's something that can happen. I mean, I think sitting down with a lender, obviously we want to talk to everyone initially and get them set up, get everything rolling, help get them connected in the right areas. But if you haven't talked to the lender yet, then we're spinning a lot of wheels because maybe you do need 6 months to prepare to make a few things happen. Maybe you just got a new career. Maybe they need to see a few different things. Um, I think preparation is going to be the thing that we focus on this year. So 2023, I think that's my word. We're going to go preparation. You need to prepare. You need to be thinking. You need to be ready to think outside the box. And I think a lot of people are waiting for these massive things to happen in the market. I'm not convinced we're going to see them one way or another. I don't think it's going to shoot up. I don't think it's going to shoot down. I really believe that we're going to be right where we are. It might adjust a little bit up or down, but I don't anticipate that we're going to see a massive dip or a gain one way or another.
No, I definitely think that we're trending towards more of a stable market this year, which I think is the big question mark about next year because our stability with 2023 doesn't necessarily mean stability in 2024. So I'm curious to see, obviously, with the start of the year and the lack of inventory, I'm really anxious to see, obviously, how this summer plays out in real estate. And I wish I had my crystal ball, but unfortunately I don't. But our lenders are a great start as to kind of that insight as to what may happen. Of course, they're really well versed in that too. But I'm excited.
Well, I think one of the things that was fun about 2022 was that we saw a lot of our clients become investors, and I'm seeing investing become more of a public thing now. Like before, you may not have known who a lot of the investors were. Some of the social media platforms are really taking to allowing investors to really put their stuff out there. So this would be our plug for renters. We would love to help connect you if you're in a situation where you want to sell and you're looking to rent. I know we have a few listings actually coming up that we're going to be doing that. Like we're trying to help those individuals find a rental because they don't want to buy right now. They're trying to find the exact spot they want to be. They're, going over different situations on maybe they'll build, maybe they'll find some land. And so I know Rach has some of those. I've got some of those that we are trying to help those people find rentals. So if you're an investor with some rentals out there, we would love to hear from you just because I think a lot of people are going to be looking for that avenue this year as far as trying to find a place to go in the meantime. And I don't think that's a bad idea. And I think for people looking to find the exact right home, I think that's a really good avenue for them to explore.
It is. And granted, I mean, even just starting the conversation early, kind of like what we spoke about sooner, I again have spoken about how great it is to have such a community at Next Home and to have you and to have so many people even down here in Southern Maine that like for some clients who are looking for like those remedy situations of listing their home and renting or looking for like that transitional period, there's been so many times that I've been able to link up some of my clients with my other clients. And for one instance, an investor of mine that's in Old Orchard Beach, He has a couple of short-term rentals in there, and I had a client who needed a short-term winter rental, and one of his units was available. So I was able to put the two of them together, make something work, make both of them really happy. And then at the end of the day, it's easier for me to obviously get a handle on what your situation is and to really be prepared for you whenever you do come to the table and want to be able to buy or sell or whatever it may be. Just starting that conversation early with your real estate agents and your lenders. And I promise you, it's not scary. We move as quick or as slow as you ask us to. If you just want to come to us with a couple of questions, that's always okay. We're not going to go out and ask you to view 10 properties and then make a decision that same day. We're very, we want to cater to your needs and to what you need in this market, because we do understand, it's really a case by case basis. And especially with last year too, there was a lot of our sellers that really just didn't know where they were going to go once they sold their house. So we really had to get creative. So
Right.
we just want to hear from you guys.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I think that's really where we just want to continue focusing on is continue being, client driven, humans over houses. We do care about everyone and their individual situation. We want to make sure we can make it absolutely perfect. So we appreciate you guys coming on today. We know that, it's tough market out there for some people. We know that some people are frustrated. We know that some people have been looking for 3 years, some people 2, some people just started their search. The one thing I will just say, please don't get discouraged. Connect with us, connect with a professional, really get that preparation going so that way you can make this process as absolutely smooth as possible. And just know that at the end of the day, we've had clients that have gone, 3 years looking for a home. It's an amazingly emotionally awesome day when it finally happens and it makes it all worth it. So the light at the end of the tunnel is there. 2023 is going to be an amazing year for a lot of people, and we just want to help be a part of it. So thanks so much, guys, for tuning in, and we can't wait to have you guys back next week. So I think next week we're going to talk about, we did short-term rentals. We've done a little bit of design, came back with a little bit of market update. I think I would like to bring in an agent from one of our other states next week. So I'm going to kind of look around and talk to some of our next homies around the country, because I would like to give, the individuals in our area kind of a peek at what some other markets in a different state is going on. So stay tuned for who that individual is going to be, but I promise that it'll be a dynamic speaker because we have a lot of really great people. So if you're listening to this and you're one of our next homies out there and you feel like you've got some really great information about your market that will help the individuals here in Maine, please reach out to us, as we'd love to have you guys on. So thanks again so much for joining us today, guys. Have a happy and safe day, and hopefully those temps are warming up for you.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.